Thank you very much. We will be seeing you for Game 3. We're about to jump into this one, and it is going to be Game 2. RYL versus Fnatic. RYL up on 1 right now. This is a best of 5 coming in. Riv, Jat, and D-Man about to break it down.
We are indeed about to break it down. You can see straight away, no sign of teleport once again from Fnatic. So they're not going for that tactic, keeping it in their pockets for when they really need it. And that's ballsy play straight away.
So the reason I think Peke is going with Ignite right here is because when you bring teleport, you're actually putting yourself in a little bit of a lane disadvantage to begin with. And since Fnatic lost the lane so badly last game, they might not even be able to get away with it in this match, because it would just allow Whites even more freedom against Peke in lane specifically.
See where they can go from this. Looks like they're all just going to be personal sentries. Actually, not too many wards being placed out here, but Fnatic will move power in numbers as they go hip to hip into the banana brush. And they're going to find Godlike, but I don't think they'll get too much out of it.
No, he's going to back away from this one. Remember, they did go face to face in the first game, and actually no kills were exchanged, despite the fact a lot of damage was traded back and forward. No focus this time, but Fnatic are going for that invade on towards red, and RYL are looking to maybe try and respond this.
Yeah, but RYL's not grouped up anywhere. So if Fnatic did find one, they would at the very least burn a flash.
Soaz already used his slingshot. They go into the brush with that cooldown there. An instant cleanse on the grasping root. It's going to be a lot of damage. One or few more hits. Cyanide's going to try to grab the aggro, but it goes to Peke. Forced to flash already. That's going to be big for White mid lane, but it continues.
Oh, no. Continuing around the backside. Lookie's going to come in. He gets down to Soaz. Lookie may go down from this one. Is there going to be no hit? Yellow Star's in trouble. He's going to go down. Pusher's going to go down.
Oh my gosh.
It's a double. It's a triple. It's disaster for Fnatic at level 1.
When Fnatic decided to dive the turret for Uzi, everyone needed to follow through. They got caught halfway through. Soaz started tanking the turret, but guess what? There's still a bunch of RYL people in the jungle closing in on the rest of Fnatic. 2 went one way, 3 went the other, and the fact that 3 people of Fnatic ran into a team on RYL was absolute disaster.
With the flashes down, everything that comes of this, it means RYL has advantage on the lanes to look for the kills. They even probably have enough time to back and put purchases in here, starting with a Doran's Ring. Peke is going to get himself some help, but he's also against Whites' Doran, and 2 assists there.
So in the laning phase, at least, because the kills were so delayed for RYL, they haven't bought significant items yet out of this one. The only big significant purchase was actually Peke's Crystalline Flask on top of whatever he's gotten early, and the Spirit Stone from Lucky.
1,000 gold lead already for RYL Gaming, just 3 minutes into this game, coming into lane phase. We did see the defensive ball being picked up by Whites there, actually using it to save Lucky's life, but that jungler having 2-0-1 start will be immense on that at least. We saw him in the last game, how strong he can be in terms of coming in, ganking potential, helping out that top lane with Godlike. That's going to surely cause problems for Soaz in the top lane.
It's going to play on the mentality. You go into a game and you're thinking, when is that first hit going to chip off the block? When are we going to be behind a little bit? And if it happens at 2 minutes, it weighs on your mind the entire time. We've seen teams win a game and still be stressed at the end. This would be one of those. Uzi taking some big damage, but they don't fully aggress.
Fnatic already completely put on their back foot, and as we said, no teleports to try and recover here. Lucky trying to take those 2 kills and aggressively counter jungle Fnatic Cyanide. He's taken his race an inch away from where the red buff is being taken down as well.
And already in the top lane, Godlike, he's farming between the lanes. Soaz is already feeling the pinch of that very first assault. Of course, remember, there's no passive available. That went down, Cell Division was used already, so he's got a timer on that one, and Soaz is going to be really careful. Meanwhile, just off to the right of the screen, we see Cyanide and Lucky fighting over the golem. Soaz is thinking of going aggressive here. Dodges out, they're going to go aggressive.
A little bit of missed damage there. Lucky very low, does not have the repel in time. Whites is also fighting Peke in middle, back and forth. The ignites go down, the damage is upped, but they will not find the kill on each other.
The fact that the double buffs there were transferred back to Cyanide is huge. Lucky pressed his luck a little too long there, trying to get in between the double golems. That time he landed his Q Soaz comboed, and Godlike was not in the right position because the top lane wave was in the wrong spot, and effectively Lucky just got bursted down before Godlike could react.
Potentially a little bit of over-aggression from RYL. Maybe the first time we've seen that one. Push shoot and Yellow Star under pressure in that bottom lane. And again, Whites is going to be the target, forced to flash away this time. And he will avoid it, but summon a spell burn.
A good aggression there, and Cyanide actually kind of curbing what he usually does in that farm and ganking a bit for Aatrox here. Peke was very low though. They may try to reactivate that gank, but it does not work out as Fnatic wary.
Cyanide absolutely helping out two of his solo lanes very early on in the game, something that he was not able to do successfully in the last one. I really like that Aatrox pick, capitalizing on Lucky's aggression.
Look at this bottom lane though, the pressure being applied. 34 to 20 CS already between Uzi and Pushu. Big advantage there. Whites 43 to 18 in this mid lane. White is dominating Peke once again in terms of farm.
You see Uzi taking those hits left and right. Few grasping roots here. Said it in the early game. They're just going to be able to heal that up with Sona already pushing down hard. 45 to 18 in that mid lane, but he has back for his second ring. So Peke may be able to make a play as he's going to be hitting 6 here within the next few minutes.
Something Tabe actually did in this bottom lane as well is he got a multitude of mana potions early on in the game. And Sona's healing is generally gated by mana more than anything else, so that means that Uzi and Tabe can be more aggressive and take more hits.
Ooh, Cyanide looking for a little bit too much there, and he gets pushed off of the front door.
Yeah, Soaz is pushed that lane up, but again, it's Lucky and Godlike feeling the pinch, pushing around, taking away everything from the jungle of Cyanide. And Cyanide, while he's been trying to be as aggressive as he can, he is getting caught out. They're going to go in though. There's going to be Let's Bounce going down. Ultimate on towards Godlike. Hasn't hit 6 yet. And of course the Bloodwell not available because he's Renekton.
Just great timing right there by Fnatic. Renekton doesn't have the Bloodwell. Tricks on you right there. Soaz able to hit 6 first, capitalize, and this solo lane comeback by Soaz is really huge because we look at Peke in the mid lane. He's dying to White, seemingly 26 to 52, and it's all about Soaz and Cyanide right now.
Deja vu here on the other side of the map. This was just Cyanide being pushed out of that double golems area. Now we get it down onto the side of RYL, and they're having a bit trouble behind the turret. We see 2 in the top lane, still going strong. The aggression in mid, still coming from Whites, but he's taking damage in those trades.
Well, let's see how that aggression works out from Cyanide. Hasn't gone back to buy yet, just about popping back. We'll see what he comes out with. Will it be a second Dorans? Will he continue the aggression? We do see Whites heading in towards his bottom lane. The bottom lane itself has been pushed heavily. They're going to go aggressive on Pushu. He's going to have to get away from this one. Grasping Roots does come out, stops Uzi in his tracks, but that 3v1 dive, he's coming.
Yeah, this bottom lane is not going well whatsoever for Fnatic. Pushu is a level behind both Uzi and Tabe, and that just pushed him straight back. Even though the last pick was Zyra, RYL knew exactly the lane they were going to be going up against, because as soon as Fnatic picked Ashe, RYL knew that it would be comboed with Zyra, and that Sona Ezreal pick is a direct choice by RYL to go against, and it is paying off. 65 to 25. That is not even close.
And Pushu is usually somebody that comes up for his team and makes plays. You can see he has 1,600 gold right now to the 2,300 of Uzi, and Pushu's going utility on this one. Uzi getting pretty hurt, and there it is, the final attack from Cyanide. The Ignite goes down, and he actually runs off with that summoner spell.
Wow.
That was a very big surprise for Uzi. He had his flash up, and he decided to not go away. I don't think he expected Cyanide to be level 6, or he underestimated his burst potential, because he's actually played against Aatrox before. RYL is an Aatrox team occasionally. That is just a great play by Cyanide and a rare misplay from Uzi.
So Dragon gonna pick top here, and you know, it's the fact that Cyanide went back, got those boots of mobility, the double Dorans. We talked about what he was gonna build into. He's gone for the aggression, and it's paid off right there. 3-0 right now, Cyanide. That's the Dragon for Fnatic.
After a disastrous opening when Fnatic gave up 3 kills, they have played nearly flawlessly throughout the rest of this. Even though they're losing in the laning phase, this is the game where Cyanide is stepping up. As you said, the boots of mobility are allowing him to make it into positions faster. Cyanide was in the right positions last game, he just wasn't making the plays on Lee Sin. He's making the plays this game on Aatrox, and it's a big reason Fnatic has been able to pull themselves back to an even game.
Crepo was kind of talking about that on the analyst desk. These junglers fast, going for the early speed, that movement around the jungle play style instead of auras for the team, helping yourself out. Although Crumbs also said in his interview the auras are there in the late game. So the junglers are really taking a bigger role in this tournament than before.
Speaking of junglers, we see again Lucky on that red buff, stole it away from Cyanide. So while Cyanide may be being the aggressive one, he is having his jungle stolen away from him. But we've got to talk about the farm, because that is a devastating differential in that bottom lane. Uzi at 80 CS to Pushu's 33. That is monstrous.
Yeah, that is a problem. And now that the turret has gone down, how is Fnatic going to deal with Uzi and Tabe roaming around the map? RYL is a team that loves to just appear with 4 or 5 people and brute force down turrets. Uzi has the freedom to do that as well because he doesn't even have to worry about Pushu catching up and farm.
Yeah, we see that Pushu right now trying to be full utility. 3 Dorns in his build. Cyanide going quite hard onto Lucky. He finds him in the jungle. Will the Spider be able to get out on this one? Peke picks himself up a nice kill. The assists go around. The crescendo coming out onto Peke, and they may be able to get the shockwave.
I'm not sure it's the right choice because Soaz has joined the party. Tammy's going to go down. It's feeding Peke kills. He's going to dodge out of this one. Can he get the third? No, he won't. It will go to Soaz. Bloodball is available for Cyanide. Uzi's in trouble. He's going to have to arcane shift away from the arrow, and he will get out there, but that was another good fight for Fnatic.
And this just pulls the game even closer. It is RYL over farming and Fnatic over fighting right now. You can see Cyanide time the Lucky coming back down. Whites was waiting to find the right shockwave, and Peke in the crescendo, Whites didn't have his cooldowns to get the ball in position for that in time, which is why Peke was able to dodge away from it. And this is actually a little bit of greed right here from Peke. He shouldn't have went back in. He wanted to get more kills for himself since he is the carry. It cost him his life.
And then over the wall. Uzi makes himself safe. So we have Godlike pressuring the turret after that. It did cause some commotion on the map, so we're going to see top lane getting pressured there. A good movement by RYL. They will grab a bit of that gold lead. It's only 600 right now. Last game, it was about 10,000 within the next 9 minutes of the game.
Well, it's swung back and forward. It's been 1,000 to RYL, 1,000 back to Fnatic. Now we're heading back towards 1,000 to RYL because while that was all happening, Godlike stayed in the top lane, pushed down that turret, got themselves the second turret of the game. As of yet, Fnatic yet to get close to touching those turrets.
And there is an unrelenting farm advantage from RYL right now. 109 and 106 if we look at Whites and Uzi, to just 78 and an abysmal 53 from Pushu's Ashe right now. Only the kills that are created by Cyanide and Fnatic's attempt to almost punish RYL for being so aggressive in their way of getting farmed is keeping Fnatic in this game. The lane problem that Fnatic had last game is not really being solved. They're barely keeping themselves in this one because Cyanide has been so impactful.
And he is 51 and 36 CS, but he still comes out of the jungle. A great shockwave pulls him back, but it's Peke. The arrow flies across, and it gets the kill on Natabe. They look for Whites. They take him down as well. And another 2 now for nothing. Last one was a 3 for 1.
These are the picks that Fnatic put into their team composition. That is why they had Ashe and Ahri, because they can find the right team fights, and it is absolutely keeping them in this game.
Well, we talked about the difference between Orianna and Ahri, the picks, how it was going to work out. In terms of farm, don't get me wrong, Whites is staying miles ahead, but Peke is getting going, and that is a danger sign for RYL Club right now.
They will be able to create their pick soon. They have taken back the gold lead, D-Man, as you're saying. It's swaying back and forth, and it's doing it every minute of the game. Another noodle fight in the top here by Soaz and Godlike. Neither of these guys are taking each other down.
But this time, Soaz has the level advantage on Godlike. It's a reversal of what we saw in the last match. The fact that Soaz is able to push Godlike in means Godlike can't roam around with the rest of RYL to create 5v4 team fights like he loves to do on Renekton so much.
So let's have a look. I mean, let's not get wrong. Pushu is still being absolutely massacred in this bottom lane. It's not even close. To be at a double the CS at 120 to 62 is still enormous. And we know that Uzi is RYL's carry effectively. But if Baker can get going, which he is, Deathfire Grasp will be out soon. If he can land that charm on Uzi, he will go down very quickly.
We can actually see Pushu and Yellowstar just a few seconds ago, that True Shot Barrage passing through their 2-man Fnatic brush try. They try to get their own gank in. You can see them. They are trying to make moves. Like Ocelot said, the one thing I've learned from this tournament is you have to be able to make moves and go in when you even think it's wrong.
Well, at this point, Fnatic can't make any mistakes because even though they're out-killing RYL is the ones with excessive farm advantages. So if RYL gets any kills back, they're going to close out a lot of large bounties from Fnatic and jump even farther ahead. Knowing that Uzi has cleanse on Ezra right now, there's no good way for Fnatic to actually lock them down. They're trying to catch them, so Fnatic actually has to kill everyone else but Uzi, because I don't think he's a realistic focused target. And if Uzi gets too far ahead, he's going to crush Fnatic.
Well, Fnatic grouping up for this one, but RYL Club are ready this time around. Soaz was looking around the side, maybe they think it coming in. RYL going for that full 5-man defense. Dragon up in 2 seconds' time. This could be our first big battle.
Everyone has roamed down at this point. There is a pretty big edge here. Soaz is level 11, whereas Godlike is level 10. So
steal.
And that is also very huge. Having double blue buff on RYL gives them a lot of extra coolant in this fight, which is bound to happen. Sign at the very least will go for a steal.
I'm watching for the shockwave on this one. Where's the... Oh no, he missed the shock! They go for Cyanide! They keep going down. Whites is all over him. The Dragon has not yet gone down, but he's dealing some DPS. Godlike finds the hit, but they continue the fight.
They continue to go round, and Soaz round the backside gets down Uzi. This could be an ace for Fnatic. They're closing on towards Whites. Tabe is there as well. There's no Dragon, so they're going to keep on pushing this one. Tabe is going to get slowed down. The Elastic Sting Shot, the red buff, doing its work. Who are they going to give the kill to? They need to give it to Pushu. He needs to get fed. They get him. Ari, meanwhile, he's chasing. Peke is on to Whites. Whites finally backs away. It's a 4-for-1 exchange. Dragon did go across. I'll tell a lie, it didn't even get touched.
It ran right back to its pit because the fight just distracted from it. Fnatic got the good fight there because Soaz was level 11, 2 Godlikes level 10. Fnatic was stronger overall in fights, and Uzi wasn't an issue. Because the charm landed early on Uzi, it took him out of the fight. And then Whites, with a huge mistake on Orianna, did not combo on any of Fnatic's dives. Fnatic spread out very well in that fight, so even if Whites would have landed the shockwave, it only would have been on one person. And then the repetitive dive from Soaz was able to finish off Uzi in the very end. Fnatic did everything right in this fight and really chased RYL down. It punished RYL for having so much focus on Orianna, and the rest of Fnatic just chased down.
That Orianna ball, especially with 3 members of Fnatic able to jump out the delivery system, has to be on a person. It can't be a skill shot ultimate. I'm sure Whites has got that in his mind for the next fight. At 13-5, finally, a bit of a more than 1,000 gold lead coming in here for Fnatic. 16 minutes in. 4 minutes from now, RYL took Baron last game. It's a completely different game.
And talking about gold, you know, Uzi has got that farm, 150 CS, but he's 0-3-1. Meanwhile, you look at it, it's only, what, 600 gold difference between Pushu, despite the fact he had that enormous CS advantage still, because he's 2-1-4, because they started feeding him those kills in that fight.
And I really have to credit a lot to Soaz's Zac in this game. He's 2 levels ahead of Godlike, and 1,500 gold ahead, as well as wearing these double buffs. He's the thing that is in the way and effectively blocking a lot of Uzi's Mystic shots to shut him down in these team fights. He's the second diver that is helping the rest of Fnatic come and win a lot of these fights, as they have been up 13 kills to 5.
It's like Fnatic's getting pinched into their own mid. This is being forced in. The crescendo comes out. The shockwave hits, and they obliterate Peke down. The Varro comes across. Oh, it splits the uprights, and they're not able to get anything out of it. They continue into the turret.
This is not a good fight for Fnatic. They're going to have to back away from this one. That's 2 kills down now. And you called it right at the start. They simply locked them up. Aggressive play coming out from Tabe with that flash crescendo.
Pushu trying to catch up on farm there, and RYL does not care about people in turrets. If they have more than you, they will dive the turret, and that is RYL execution. They're going to keep pushing this.
This is big for them. We saw this happen in the SKT game. Can they go all the way to the inhibitor here with a quick push? They have 1 second on Peke. He does have home guards. He grabs those quite early. He'll be able to help defend on the inhibitor.
Wow, so 2 towers picked up from RYL. We talked about the aggression. I was mentioning it in game 1. Even when they were a 10k lead, they weren't going diving. Now they're even on gold. They're just getting straight in there. They know how to get back in this game.
It's the way they get back into games, is they group up as 5 and they force fights. And even though Fnatic was spread out, Peke might get a little bit of revenge as well. Even though Fnatic was spread out in that last fight, Whites used his shockwave on 1 and then finished off Peke. I guess it was worth it, because if you don't finish off Peke, he's going to just go and kill you.
So, I'm interested who got the actual shutdown gold there. I think it was Whites, because there was a lot of people. There was Cyanide who had barely been touched, Peke was barely been touched, and both of them went down in that fight. There was a lot of gold transferred across the RYL. We do see Fnatic taking their first turret of the game in that mid lane.
Uzi is the one who got Soaz's killing spree in the last fight, which is fairly large for him, the only kill of the game that he's been able to pick up. And despite Uzi's giant farm advantage, he's been held back. Fnatic looking for fights.
They are doing the pick game. Here it comes once again. Godlike looking to get himself out of this one. Feels like he can waltz it out. Tabe's there to help, but Tabe might have gotten himself into the I think I can situation. They have to throw down Dominus, and they walk out of this.
And now all of RYL is trying to put up a counterattack, but their big tank and Renekton is gone, which means if Pushu lands an arrow, there is no real defense to stop the rest of Fnatic coming in.
Fnatic are looking to create a situation. Of course, that top turret could be the focus, but where are RYL going? Are they going to try and transfer this one. Pushu and Soaz heading towards that top. They need to shove this wave in. They need to start getting those turrets, more importantly, because they are slowly but surely, despite they're winning the guerrilla warfare at 15-8, they are starting to be pushed into their own base.
And it is very rare that the team that gets substantially out-farmed, as we've seen Uzi over Pushu and Whites over Xpeke, and destroyed on turrets. At one point it was 4 turrets to 1. Has a chance, even the slightest of hopes of winning. It's only because Fnatic has forced so many good team fights that they've been able to stay in this game. But the trend is still in the favor of RYL because they have the ability to take more map control. As soon as they get any shutdown bonuses, they can crush back. And there's a reason that they were able to have so much lane dominance and push in. It's because generally their champions are stronger when they're fighting.
And right now, a fight win means so much more. So much more of the map is open. Fnatic, semi-lanes push, they win a fight, and we see them backing. We don't see them pushing turrets or anything. Not really gaining too much advantages off of what they have, but they have, again, grabbed back the gold lead that has swayed a handful of times already, and it still will.
And, you know, talking about that gold lead, the advantage the AD carries had. Because Uzi had such a dominant lane, he's now got himself a Triforce and a Last Whisper. Because Pushu was in so much trouble, he had to get that triple Doran's Blade. Now he's finally completed the Infinity Edge. But he's behind in builds.
Way behind. Pushu is pretty much just his Ash Arrow and a little bit of backline support. That's okay for Fnatic because they are a solo lane focused team. It just pushes more onto Soaz and Peke. I like the fact that Soaz went with Mercury Treads on Zac and the Haunting guy. So he gets the magic penetration, but he still has the tenacity to move through the team fights. It's something that during previous rounds of World Championships, Zax did not do. Fnatic, though, looking for a fight.
Dangerous situation, though. Soaz is not with them yet. He's coming in very late into this fight, and if RYL had have gone for it, if they'd had vision, they're going to pull the shockwave.
They crush it down, the crescendo follows after, one after the other. They get the consecutive crowd control, and it is going to be a first kill coming up quick. Cyanide Yellow Star is down, but Tabe follows quickly. They still go on to Soaz, but he is going to be able to run this one out for his team. Back to the fight, and it's Peke getting a kill for himself. No, Pushu picks it up. Peke's on the Ignite. The charm goes out, and he lives.
Absolute crazy aggression coming out from this one. Pushu with the Ignite. He saves himself with the barrier just off the side there. Soaz gets a kill down. Lucky comes back in. Back and forward action. It was a 4-for-3 fight though, and it actually went in favor of Fnatic.
And that's the perfect explanation of how this entire game is going right now. Let's take a look at how this happened. The Shockwave comboed with Tabe's Crescendo seemed to wipe out Fnatic, but that was only their support and their jungle, plus Silent has Revive passive up, so it meant Fnatic could still launch a counterattack, and this is how far ahead Soaz is. While Godlike is dying to Peke and Pushu, Soaz is taking on 2.5 people of RYL. Uzi actually gives up on Soaz and then rushes for Peke. Peke surprised Uzi a bit by flashing with his Spirit Rush, and then Pushu was far enough back that he could counter onto Uzi once he came in. Soaz, the monster that he is, finished off another kill, and Lucky finally ate up the pieces at the end.
And look at this, we're back at it again. The dragon is up, everybody settles themselves, and it seems that we're going to have another party in the dragon pit. The rest of Fnatic starting to position themselves as our RYL.
And Fnatic actually needs this fight to happen in about 15 seconds. They need Zac's ultimate to be up, because right now RYL has Shockwave and Reduction Ult. If RYL fought right now, they would have an edge.
They throw the True Shot Barrage through. Not too much is going to be followed up. It's the arrow to Godlike.
The arrow onto Godlike. Will it be the right focus? Lucky's taken low at the side there. We also see Fnatic peeling off. They know Let's Bounce is still not available, which is why they're trying to delay this fight out as much as possible.
Tabe Crescendo not going to be up for this fight, and you can see the hesitation coming into the battle.
Whoa!
Another missed Shockwave by Whites.
They're going to try and catch on. Cyanide doesn't land that slow, and everybody disengages ever so slowly.
Everybody calm down here. There's nothing happening. Let's Bounce is up, but nobody wants to party with Soaz at this point. That's why RYL was flying away right now. And because of that, RYL's trying to take a little bit of Baron control. But guys, this game is ridiculously close.
6-8, 30,600. Wow, that's not a number. 37,000 gold to 35,000 gold. Those are real numbers. Let's work with those. We can see Soaz completely changing his game around. For that last game, it was like, wow, the mechanical skill in each lane is just far surpassing, but not the story coming into this one. Everybody's matched up or beat their lane now on Fnatic.
And the reliance for Uzi right now, he's still at 146. He's not getting those kills. They are going to Whites, and 4-1-6 Pushu, despite how bad he did in lane, he's still being given the kills. And we saw that great play just up towards the end of that fight. The barrier saving him from the Ignite. and just about holding on in there. And still, 19-11, Fnatic holding on with their kill score. They still can't get towers down. Every time they hit this fight, there's nothing left to push a tower.
And Peke's Ahri build is actually a little bit odd. He just now finished a DFG, but that was after having a Seeker's Arm Guard. He's making sure to build a little bit of defensive itemization because he knows how quickly Uzi and Whites are willing to trade damage back on him and how quick-fingered Tabe is with those crescendos. So if Peke gets caught in one, he doesn't want to instantly die, and I think that's actually one of the things that's allowed Peke to stick around in some of these fights. Like that last 4-for-3 we had, he was at a sliver when Uzi was chasing him down.
He's definitely keeping his mind on how can I get kills. And in fact, I think he got the return on investment. As soon as he bought those home guards after the mid fight we saw, he got that kill on Whites in mid instantly. So he knows what he needs to be doing from step to step, setting the chess pieces in place. But right now, 4 turrets down, vision lost on the side of Fnatic with a gold lead means they definitely are on the edge of going in the same way of last game.
And there's a bunch of loaded gold that's willing to swing just based on the results of the next team fight. So if Fnatic wins a decisive team fight, since the turrets are so non-destructed right now on Royal's side, Fnatic would get thousands of global gold right after a team fight. But if Royal wins a decisive team fight, since they've already taken the turrets, it's actually kill bounties that Fnatic have accumulated. This game is actually going to swing or break, probably with the first next fight.
Check the pressure once again.
Oh,
Fnatic
man.
with the Cyanide and Pushu.
Look at just good.
Cyanide, he really
Everybody's
about
holding
it.
their breath.
I think they knew they were there though. So they were trying to push the top lane again. They're trying to get the towers down, but every time they do it, Royal just find the pressure point and they're going to catch on Tabe.
Oh, and missed the grasping root. They throw up the Stranglethorn though, and they could go in. The True Shepherd House coming through the fight. Tabe down. Can they continue to go? Cyanide's about to come up, and Lucky's going down.
Godluck's trying to take all that front damage tower. He does get Cyanide down. So far, it's just a 1-for-1. Pushu and Uzi going at it right now. Lucky's going to have to back away from this fight. It's Uzi trying to pin the damage down. Everybody, once again, steps away from the fight. Just 1 kill apiece.
And these fights are so close. Soaz and Cyanide are basically sacrificing themselves just to push back Uzi from the rest of Fnatic squishies. But Godlike is doing the same thing on Renekton. Full tank right now. He's not even building a Sunfire Cave because Royal's only objective right now is keep people away from Whites and Uzi. It's one of the big reasons these fights are so low kill, at least that last one.
Are they triple pushing right now, trying to get all these lanes up? Zyra in the top lane, Yellowstar doing what he can with plants. They're trying to get everything in their advantage.
Yeah, that top lane, they've tried 3 times to go up there to push it out. Finally, Pushu is like, right, okay, I'm going to go in the bottom. I'm going to get the farm here. And Yellowstar's like, well, I used to be an AD carry. I can push a lane.
Yeah, but with all that being considered, it's actually Royal who always has the upper hand around the Baron Pit. It is denying Fnatic vision, and since Pushu was off to the side, this is a dangerous opportunity. 50-50 once again. Can Cyanide jump in and steal it?
The arrow is not up. There's the Hawk shot to give him vision. Tabe very low. It does not get stolen. Cyanide forced to flash out, but the slice and dice follows, and they may back off on this one.
That was the Baron for Royal Club, though. Are we going to see Soaz going in? He hasn't gone. Let's bounce. There's going to be the ignite. So they get the arrow catches on towards Whites. The damage on towards Lucky. Can they get any picks off here? Godluck still in there, locking down Peke. They're going to try and turn the damage. The rest of Royal Club trying to come around.
And Uzi is going to be a huge factor in this fight. He puts himself in the front, cleanses off the damage. The Baron buff is ticking on Royal, and they are going to head Fnatic into their own base.
Soaz, of course, he has got Flash available, but he didn't have Let's Bounce available throughout that entire fight. Peke did go down to Uzi again. The goal heading back towards that AD carry could be vital.
Another crazy aggressive call right there by Royal. Lucky smites absolute faith in himself, but it's just a 50-50. Royal does not care, and now with the Baron and a 5v4, they're getting an inhibitor.
Deja vu for Royal. They are coming in very strong, very early in this best of 5. They seemingly win every lane to come in strong, and Pushu gets crescendo.
We see a dancing Ash, but is it going to be enough? So as his Let's Bounce is now available, Tabe is going to get locked down. He's catching the rest of the team. There's going to be a lockup on Lucky. We're going to see the catch on towards him. So as still not in there. Peke will be up in 1 second time, but it is Uzi cleaning up right now. Here comes the home guard Peke. Can he get the damage down to the right target? No. Uzi's going to turn it back onto him.
Can he get to the fountain? Uzi's still chasing, and the Baron buff's going to keep him strong.
And Royal, as they do with Baron buff, trying to take down Nexus turrets.
One turret goes down. Now, yes, they do get it. Uzi's up in the front. He's low on mana. Royal is looking to end this game now.
Wow, just what a turnaround right here. The shockwave pulls
That's it.
in. They get the kill. They get the Nexus. And Royal Club go 2-0. Can you believe it? The plays the Royal Club just faith.
What a ridiculous ending from Royal Club there. It only took one call for them to rush the Baron, as we saw in the quarterfinals. Once they got it, one at a time, they systematically pushed down Fnatic's turrets. They had 4-1 before the Baron, and they just ran that mid lane down. Fnatic could not respond.
And what a crazy game. You remember the 3-1 fight at the very start of the game. 3-1 Royal Club took the advantage. Fnatic